Welcome to the Invest with Dennis channel. And today we are talking about one stock to buy. One stock to buy in an uncertain market. Usually when people talk about the stock market, sometimes it's always a one-sided affair. Oh, what stock can I buy? I'm hoping to make 20 or 30%. I'm hoping it doubles by next year. Oh, I'm hoping it triples in the next 5 years. But guys, the truth of the matter is, it's not always green in the market. From a historical perspective, the trajectory is usually up. But there are certain times, either due to politics, economics, environment, changing people's needs, sometimes the market does cool off. It goes through a correction. And sometimes it goes through a market crash. This has happened before in the past. Look at the Great Depression. Look at the dot-com bubble. Look at the housing market, the crash, the 2008 crash. Look at COVID. All these are examples of when the market crashed, but from time and time again, it recovered. And there are people like Michael Berry that have made money when stocks are going down, betting that there'll be a market crash and they'll short the market. And there are two ways of doing that. Usually when people talk about investments, we're always talking about, oh, buy this company, it's a great company, in the next 10 or 5 years, you might get 50% of your money or return of investment. But there's also another opinion that's also important in the market. That is the opinion of, I think these are good companies, however, their valuations are pretty high. However, the stock price is pretty high. However, their revenue, EPS, and all these other metrics that investors use to determine whether to buy a stock or not are not matching up to the reality of the stock. Yes, it's normal for a company that is a great company, but somehow you have that opinion saying it's overvalued. And that also comes up to personal investment. I, for one, might feel comfortable buying a stock at $10 a share. For you, with a different budget, you'd be like, you know what? I am better off buying the stock at $5 a share, because that's how much you can afford, or that's how much you feel a stock is worth. So, in this video, we will talk about one well-known brand. I won't tell you what it is until later on in the video or the next slideshow. That is a very, very popular brand, and that is a good stock to have just in case you get a downturn in the market. And you will see the reason why based upon historical data and revenue and all these beautiful matrix that people look at, that we use it, to determine whether to buy a stock or not. So sit back, relax, let us enjoy, guys. This is very, very exciting. And some of the information that we will have in this segment, you will be really, really surprised. Moving on to the next slideshow. Everything looks calm. This is talking about the market right now. The S&P 500 at record highs, third straight weekly gain into late August. The VIX lowest of 2026. Wall Street fear gauge is asleep. So usually Wall Street uses the VIX to gauge fear. So why does something feel off? Moving on to the next slideshow. 3 cracks worth knowing about. 1, concentration. 2, the earnings bar. 3, bonds compete again. Concentration. The 10 largest companies are now roughly 40% of the entire S&P 500. Think about that for a second. The second, the earnings bar. The other 493 companies need to roughly double their earnings growth pace. Think about that. 3, bonds compete again. The 30-year Treasury yield hits its highest level in nearly 2 decades. Think about that. Not a crash call, just a thin cushion. Moving on to the next slideshow. Yes, the company we are analyzing today is a brand that's known worldwide. It brings a smile on people's faces all the time. It is one brand that was a very common brand in my household. You guessed that right. Look at the screen. Coca-Cola. NYSE. Ticker symbol KO. Currently trading around $91.64. Market cap $394 billion. 2.3% yield. That's my grandfather's stock. Stay with me. Yes, that is everyone's grandfather's stock and great-great-grandfather's stock. This is a well-known brand. Follow me. The year-to-date 2026, the boring stock is winning. Look at this graph right here. Coca-Cola, KO. It's up 25% approximately. The Magnificent Seven are only up 4.4%. KO has beaten every single one of the Magnificent Seven this year. A 131-year-old soda company is still outrunning the AI trade. Who would have thought that, guys? Most of the people on YouTube, they don't even mention Coca-Cola. They don't talk about Coca-Cola. But look at the numbers. It is winning against some of these AI companies that everyone is talking about. How did this happen? Next slide. Pillar 1, 64 consecutive years of raises. Every one of those years, the company told shareholders, here's more than last year. Stagflation, Black Monday, .com crash, 2008 crisis, the COVID pandemic, but still, Coca-Cola keeps on doing its thing. Annual dividend is shared. It's $2.12. Current yield, 2.3%. Payout ratio, 63.7%. 64 years of increases when it comes to dividend pays. A payout ratio near 64% means the dividend has room to breathe, not stretched, not desperate. This is not a desperation thing when they give out dividends. This is a company that has done this for 64 years. Some countries haven't even existed as nations for 64 years. But there it is, Coca-Cola's doing its thing. Pillar 2, it isn't just safe, it's growing. Net revenue, 7%, 13.4 billion. Organic revenue, 6% versus Pepsi's 2.4%. Unit case volume, people drinking more, up 5%. Operating margin, 34.9%, up from 31.1%. Comparable EPS, up 11%, $0.97. Coke Zero Sugar volume growth, up 16%. Q2 2026 and management raised full year guidance to 9 to 10% comparable EPS growth. Guys, these are some of the numbers. These are key metrics. Our numbers are important when you're considering investing. It's not just hearing the stock is going up, oh wow, good. What are the numbers? Dive deep into the numbers. Get an indication. Yes, there are other variables apart from numbers, catalysts, future growth, and all those other metrics. But look at the numbers. Next slide. Pillar 3, the MOAT is mental. 6.9 billion free cash flow, first half of 2026. Profit margin, 28.6%. Countries where Coca-Cola is sold over 200 countries worldwide. I don't think there's a country on earth where you don't have Coca-Cola. I'm yet to know of a country on earth that doesn't have Coca-Cola. In a recession, people cancel vacations. The delay a new car, they put off the remodel. They do not stop buying a $2 drink. And about Coca-Cola, guys, it's not just about soda. They have other types of beverages and drinks. If you're cautious about your health and other things, it's not just the soda itself, it's other brands too. Think about it. Think about it. What could go wrong? Guys, as investors, you always have to look at the other side too. It's not a two-way thing. Nothing is perfect in the market. Valuation, 27 to 30x earnings for a 9 to 10% growth. Not cheap. You are paying a premium for quality. The IRS case, 12 billion at stake in transfer pricing appeal at the 11th Circuit, unresolved. Soft pockets, Asia Pacific pricing fell 9%. A $960 million impairment on body armor. Those are things to look at as well. You just can't be one-sided. Oh, it's Coca-Cola, it's a well-known brand, let me buy it. No, investigate on the other side too. A peak without risks isn't teaching you to invest. It's selling you a feeling. Yes, there's this great feeling of people, myself included, oh, buy this company. But guess what, guys? You have the ability to do your own research. Don't just look at a brand because it's a popular brand, it's a well-known brand. Look how the brand is performing. Look at the numbers. Look at the risk factors as well. These things are extremely important. It's your money, it's your investment. Think about it. Think about it. Next slide. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely a haste leads to poverty. This is from Proverbs 21 verse 5. Those things are extremely important. Haste, chasing what's already run. Panic selling the bottom. FOMO buying the top. Diligence, owning a business that has raised its dividends through 64 years of chaos. Then doing nothing. You know, it's important. Not a rocket ship. A vessel still floating after 64 years of storms. Not a rocket ship, guys. Sometimes in the stock market we hear this, oh, the stock is up 300% overnight. Coca-Cola is still floating. Even when the waves are bad, even when the water is deep, even when the water is not calm, Coca-Cola is still doing its thing. Think about it. Not financial advice. This video is educational content, not personalized investment advice. Do your own research. Know your own time horizon and never invest money need next year. Meaning, be careful what you invest in. When you're willing to invest, look at it from a long haul. That's my personal take on it. And I always tell people, define who you are in the market. Know who you are in the market. Understand yourself in the market. Are you a day trader, swing trader, momentum trader, earnings trader, short-term investor, long-term investor, an investor that's interested in dividends? Or are you just a person that's bored and say, all right, let me put some money in here and see how it does? There's no right or wrong answer, guys. You have to define who you are when it comes to investment. That's the first step. Define yourself. Once you define yourself, you get a little bit more clarity. Guys, this is just a quick analysis like we discussed. This is Coca-Cola. This is a well-known brand, a recession-proof brand, guys. In the market, I know we always want to talk about fancy stocks, the tech stocks and this and that, but never, ever abandon traditional stocks too. You'll be surprised of how well they're doing. You'll be really, really surprised. This is Invest with Dennis channel, guys. Thank you so much for your patience, and thank you so much for running with me throughout this video. It would not be possible without the motivation that you guys give me every day to make such videos. Please share the word, invest wisely, like and subscribe, drop some comments. Let's have a conversation. Peace and blessings, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.